Welcome to This Show Is Not About Menopause, because menopause is one day, and that would be a pretty short show. No, we are talking about all things women's health, every day before menopause and every day after. And that includes our topic for today, which is sexual health. I want to dive right in by introducing you to Cass and Leah from Intimate Wellbeing. Welcome to the show, you guys. Hi.
Thanks for having us, Shirley.
I'm so glad you're here, and I wanted you on screen for this because I want to make sure that we can see and hear your reaction. So I'm going to go out on a limb and make a prediction. Are you ready?
We are excited to hear this. Yes.
This is my prediction for 2024 and every year after. We are about to have a lot of sex. Sometimes even with a partner.
Perfect.
You know that I love that line. It actually originated at a World Menopause Day event in, I think it was 2017. So I would have been 50. And I was invited to Edmonton to this World Menopause Day event, and there was a game show. And the contestants had to say true or false to whatever myth or misconception there was around menopause. And so then I was the judge. I had to say whether they got it right or not. And so, the organizer said, there is no sex after menopause. And then the contestants weighed in, true or false, whatever they said, I don't remember. And all of a sudden this just popped into my head, and I was like, oh, actually, there is a lot of sex after menopause, sometimes even with a partner. And I just blurted that out. And then I was like, oh, I guess I'm, because I was truth telling. It was kind of my own journey. I had recently turned 50, and I was like, there's a whole other life for me. So I'm telling you that story today. I know that you guys are both a little bit younger than I am, maybe a lot younger than I am, but I want to start out by, having you share how you got here. How did you get to this place of advocating for women's midlife sexual health?
We both turned 50.
Yeah. Right?
For sure. That was a big momentum for us. I think we both thought it's time to do something fun, and it's time to, get other women involved in having the fun that we want to have. I'll let Leah go on how we started the business and why we started the business.
Yeah, tell us.
The Coles Notes. It took myself 2 marriages and turning 47 and being in Vancouver, trying to figure out who the hell I was and what was missing and what I wanted from life in this next chapter of my life. And one evening I was sitting in an Airbnb listening to a podcast, and it was talking about pleasure. And all of a sudden I had this aha moment. What the hell? I missed some memo along the way. And I'm sure if you ask both my husbands, there was probably a bitchy component to the aspect of my character. Am I allowed to say that? However,
of course.
My aha moment was in the true patriarchal form of experiencing joy and pleasure. I had always left it to the man in my life to either show me pleasure or bring me pleasure or whatever. But I had not taken my own personal sexual well-being seriously. I never made it a priority. Hell, I had never even bought a vibrator. The next day, I drove up and down Cambie. I saw this sex store, and I was like, oh my God, at 47 now, do I really have the courage to go in here? And I went in there. First of all, I walked by and I saw that there was lingerie in the window, and I thought, okay, this is safe. I can go in and pretend I'm looking at lingerie. I get in there, and there's a few people in there. I'm like, oh shit, I'm waiting till the store clears. So the store cleared, and I went up to the woman. I said, here I am, 47. I don't know what the hell I need, but I need something. Can you help me through this process? And yes, I bought my first sex toy that day. And that really was the impetus to where we've evolved now. I mean, there's a lot more of the story to tell, but it was being so intimidated by the process,
Yeah.
knowing I needed more, not knowing exactly what I needed. But the last 4 years and through the development of Intimate Wellbeing with Cass, we've helped fill in those blanks and take that experience of being intimidated and not knowing to taking everything that we've learned and seen and been presented with and being a conduit to our community.
Yeah, we really wanted to create, because I mean, for us, the shopping experience wasn't great. So I think that was a big momentum for us, in that there was nowhere kind, there was nowhere not intimidating, there was nowhere that wasn't raunchy for women, I think, of our age bracket to shop. So we couldn't find it, so we built our own.
Yeah. It's so true. And, you know, online shopping, the internet didn't solve those intimidating, challenging factors for us. In fact, it just made it, in some ways, more raunchy, harder, more confusing, harder to make a decision. I couldn't even imagine how many abandoned carts there must be before Intimate Wellbeing came along, because I think, you know, one of the things that you've done is you've injected this education component for women who are feeling curious but confused. Tell us about the education and community that you've built already. And you only just passed your 1-year anniversary too, which we should say is amazing.
Yeah, I mean, when we started, the two of us really just thought, you know what, we're just going to sell sex toys, because to us that was already filling kind of a gap. So we thought that'll be it, and we'll do well because it's going to be a nice. We couldn't find a nice site, so if we have a nice site, of course we're going to sell a lot. But then we just kept getting these questions from women. We kept getting more curiosity coming, and so that's when we really decided that we were going to do these seminars. And then that's when we decided to put our face to it. Like, we weren't going to put our face on this at all. It wasn't until we were a couple months in that we went,
too late.
Too late. And you know what? I think that's what, as soon as we put our faces on, as soon as we started the community, it just changed everything, because women felt seen, they felt heard. If these two are putting their sites to their faces to a vibrator site, then, you know, I can order a vibrator. And I think it helps build some trust, because we're talking about what vibrators we like. We're saying what we don't like. We are really trying to be a conduit for women to know that it's okay to buy a vibrator, and don't be shy. But if you are shy, our site is very discreet.
Yeah.
Well, and to speak to, not only is it okay, but it's actually very good for your sexual well-being and your overall health. I mean, let's face it, orgasms, and not just the orgasms, but the whole entire making yourself a priority, making your sexual well-being a priority. Let's face it, it helps elevate the mood. It helps enhance your sleep. It helps reduce certain
blood pressure.
Exactly, blood pressure.
Get rid of a migraine.
Yeah. Right? There's so many positive aspects to your overall health by making this a priority. One of our favorite lines is, an orgasm a day is better than an apple.
Right on.
True.
Right on. True. You know, I preach the sexual health is health mantra a lot, but I want to back up to the beginning, because I predicted that women are going to be having a lot of sex. And I need to clarify that when I say that word, I am not referring to penis and vagina, which is often the interpretation that our society attaches to. And even the medical, you know, certainly marketers and media use it that way, but even the medical community can use the word and it's out of context or out of connotation. So sexual health is health, and we mean penetration or no penetration. We mean partner or no partner. But I hope that the word pleasure is woven into all of those activities, right?
Right on our website. I mean, echoing your statement, we say we want you to have the best sex of your life with or without a partner.
Awesome.
And how that is, what that looks like, just making yourself a priority and taking, there's so many aspects I guess we could cover on. For instance, and I might be jumping ahead for
That's
you,
fine.
but the whole pelvic floor aspect of life and what we've learned through our community, and echoing Cass and being the conduit. One of the little memos that we got this year is we women our age should be having 2 to 3 orgasms a week for optimal pelvic floor health. Pleasure and sensation aside. And so when you weave those components of this overall health aspect into your overall well-being, there's so much to learn and so much to share. And being on podcasts with you and having these platforms to share our findings is one of our missions.
I think it helps give women too, like having that kind of info out there and giving that stat. I think it gives a lot of people permission too, right? Well, I'm doing it for myself.
It's a giant permission slip, which I'm so grateful for. And you're right. It doesn't matter how we get there as long as we get there. So if a conversation about pelvic health takes you to your community or a webinar or, just learning about your anatomy and some of the proactive and reactive things that we can do at this stage in our life, that might be the conduit to pleasure, which is an excellent outcome. But, so is prioritizing your pelvic health along the way. I love that.
But back to conversation, Shirley. I mean, let's rewind here. Just even having this conversation, it's coming a lot more naturally to us. You've been in this arena for longer than we have. When we first got into this business, it was about 6 months that went by. None of our friends knew what we were doing at all.
Is that right?
At all. And then we had the conversation and we started telling people. And I mean, there's the gasps and there was like the, oh my gosh, and there was unsubscribe or awkward. But I will say this, there's other friends who I've been friends 20 years more. We sat in gymnastics bleachers. We'd gone to Broadway shows. We had dined together, shopped together, traveled together. We never talked about sex, pelvic floor health, intimacy, pleasure, or anything. And I'm telling you this, she was over and over a glass of wine, I said, this is what I'm doing. And it was like the floodgates opened up by being vulnerable and showing the courage to even talk about it. And all of a sudden, the conversation since that evening forward up until now has shifted dramatically because we are talking about it.
Absolutely. And you've both been vulnerable and you've both been courageous, not just in starting your business and helping women discover their pleasure, but you've also had some, shall we say, business challenges along the way. I'm thinking about, I know you did a lot of trade shows in your first year, but I really want to hear the story from you about the Taboo show and what we can expect going forward. I think it's great. I mean, I love change makers and I love talking about, how we can think about things differently. So tell me about the Taboo show.
I mean, we showed up at the Taboo show, not really knowing what to expect or what to do. So, I mean, I felt a little intimidated by it all. We got in there. We were definitely the vanilla cupcakes of the show. That's what we kept calling ourselves, the vanilla cupcakes. I mean, sexual positivity is huge there and everyone is so comfortable. So you are just like seeing a lot of things you have not seen before. Even for us,
it's a spectrum, right?
It was totally a spectrum and it was so eye-opening for us. But I think what we found is that, how do we say it? So it's kind.
Well, okay, first of all, it's called the Taboo All About Sex show. Very much a big part of our mission is to kick the taboo and the stigma to the curb. So that was an oxymoron. We were in it and we were feeling like we need to be here because we need to show that we are open to everybody and be part of the overall bigger arena. However, we still felt like there was this component that wasn't in alignment with our messaging. And so we approached the directors and said, how can we work together? Because quite frankly, at this point, we are maybe exploring doing a different trade show in and around the same dates, same places as you, to welcome more of the people who want to learn more, discover more, and experience a sex show, but maybe
aren't quite there yet. Like it's a lot. It was a lot for us. I mean, we went to 2 now, so I think we are seasoned.
We're seasoned.
But I think coming in to a show that maybe is a bit more soft will be nice for a lot of our people. So yeah, what's it called, Leah?
It is the Intimate Wellbeing Expo at the Taboo All About Sex show. And what that does, it gives us a decidedly different space within the show that is maybe a little less intimidating, that people, when they make the choice to buy the tickets to go to the show, if they want to go explore absolutely everything, absolutely, you're welcome to. But if you feel that I want to discover more by way of intimacy coach, pelvic floor, health, menopause chicks,
sexual wellness,
yeah, without having to maybe go to the whole entire.
It's a lot. They're such nice guys, and they are so happy we're coming. And I think it's going to be a really good partnership. I think they can bring stuff to us that we couldn't bring to it, and what we can bring is just going to be a really nice, I think, synthetic kind of.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I love that everyone that comes to this as a business or a vocation or as an advocate, it's all with good intentions. And I wanted to applaud you because you're actually, you're helping to change definitions. You're helping to break down those barriers. I think that there will be more attendees who will learn about intimate well-being and learn about pelvic and sexual health, but there will also be the traditional attendee from the Taboo show who will have some crossover new information and education. So that's really exciting. I mean, I get really excited anytime we're talking about changing the conversation. So congratulations.
Yeah, it would be really good because there's going to be seminars. So we're going to have a quieter space than last year so we can have seminars with our speakers come. So I think that can be a good part of the education. Where last year it was it's a fun place. So there's music and there's lights and there's darkness and there's flashing everything. So I think just having a quieter spot where someone can come listen to, pelvic floor health and how to have 2 orgasms a week.
And it is an opportunity. It's an opportunity for other professionals in this space who would not otherwise consider having a booth at the Taboo show because it is not in alignment with their messaging. But if this is now more of a safe zone where they feel more comfortable being present, it is a win-win. It's a mutually beneficial project for everybody, the attendees, the vendors, for us, and for the fine folks over at Taboo.
Yeah,
and we'd
absolutely.
like to see our avatar. I think we'd like to see more women our age there. I mean, there's a few, but I would say that it's probably a younger generation that goes to the Taboo. So hopefully we get a few more women in their 50s coming by themselves.
100%. So you mentioned customer avatar. Help everyone understand, what is different for a woman in midlife when she's shopping for intimate products, sex toys, lubricants, vaginal moisturizers. What makes it different when we're talking to this audience?
I think by this age and stage in life, one of another lines of ours is you're either shy, dry, or bored. And if you're none of the above, we still have something for you.
And you have solutions for all of those.
We do. And that is the avatar that we've really curated this around.
For sure. I mean, because we are midlife women, it feels really easy to focus on the midlife women.
Yeah.
And make some really fun collaborations with other midlife women. So yes, we do have a whole section all about the midlife women, the best toys for midlife women, the best lubes for midlife women, the best moisturizers for midlife women. So it is very much, we are focused on that. Leah has her very nice tagline about what kind of toys we do carry.
Because I like to say in the world of sexual toys and lotions and potions and everything, there's everything from the Kia to the Bugatti. And so we've taken all of this time to really investigate, explore, do a little bit of research and development ourselves, and narrow down the lines of products that we feel are basically the Mercedes up to the Bugatti. So high quality, body safe,
silicone.
Yeah.
healthy, like organic as much as possible.
And the gap that you're helping us to fill as we shop for toys is, I mean, so much of what we're doing in our day-to-day lives ends up being a state of overwhelm, right? So it doesn't matter whether you're going online to order groceries or you're going online to order sex toys. Inevitably, I end up feeling overwhelmed. And so what I love is to sort of have that curated, these are, a short list of maybe start here, and then you don't have to stop at just one.
No, you don't. Never stop
You
at
can
one.
keep going.
It's funny you say that. We've curated it with the vision in mind that when it's the women our age predominantly who are on their couch, the kids have gone to bed or whatever their situation is, it's about 8 o'clock at night. We visualize that they probably have a glass of wine in hand. And we really want to make this a very comfortable, elevated, and as you say, easy to choose from collection. I mean, there's our favorites. There's even your favorites as you have on your page of the site. But really to whittle our way through, find the 2 or 3 best of, say, the couples vibrators or the clip vibrators or whatever category. We've really tried to help hold our customer's hand, say, here, consider this, consider that, but not be overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's do some practical tips then. What are your top tips for how you would shop for your first sex toy or perhaps a new sex toy?
We always, I think I lead them to, if you've never had a sex toy before, I would go for the external to start, like a clitoral vibrator. To me, seems the best place to start. What's the stat on clitoral stimulation? It's like 80% of women only can orgasm through clitoral stimulation. Like penetration doesn't work for most of us. So start with a clitoral vibrator. I would say that's where I would lead them mostly. If they're very shy, I would say a discreet little bullet, maybe the first place to start. You can still use that for external stimulation, and it's quiet, and your husband won't know you're even using it, or your neighbor won't hear you're using it. So yeah.
Oh, there goes the neighborhood.
I was just listening to a lady talk about how she had taken people on a tour through her house, and she went into her bedroom and she must have cleaned up and moved her nightstand really quickly. So the nightstand was vibrating. She's like, oh, they must be doing work next door. But if they are seasoned, Leah,
because now at 51 I'm seasoned.
You're still seasoned.
Well, it depends. I mean, of course, now through the research and development, we have a lot in our personal collections, but definitely to take into consideration something that's easy to travel with if you're on the road, on the go, and it should make your toys maybe should not always just sit inside the top drawer of your bedside, and so to have them compact and ready to roll with you, and then to take your experience a whole new level. I mean, there's the whole we've got all of the personal satisfaction vibrators, but the couples vibrators.
Right.
I really think that there is still the stigma and the taboo by a lot of couples and individuals that having a sex toy in the bedroom during penetrative or foreplay or whatever can be intimidating for some, or there's shame in using them together. And so I think, I'm getting farther ahead of myself because you asked about, what you should consider in the beginning. But I think at any point along your journey, if you can take to elevate your own personal pleasure level and not just stop at, okay, I've got a vibrator, so I'm good. No, explore the other parts. Ironically, the couples vibrator that I swear by is the Chorus, and with or without a partner. I love that little pleasure treasure. And it travels really well. It's like, very, very well, and it's quiet, and yeah, it's definitely my go-to.
Yeah, I mean, we talk about too that Dr. Karen Klein told us this metaphor, and it's basically when we're trying to get a toy into the bedroom, like you don't want to eat sushi every day, so why would you want to have the same snacks every day.
Right.
So why not add in something fun,
Yeah, expand the menu, expand the menu.
Expand the
Okay,
menu.
so I happen to know that members of the Menopause Chicks community are your customers because they will let me know, send me DMs. But I'd love to know what you're hearing from your customers. What do they say after the purchase, after the trial and the R&D, if you will?
We do have an app called Judge Me. So it sends out automatically 2 weeks after they get a purchase. It does send out a ask if they would like to review it, and then that will go up on our site. So I think we do find it a little bit harder because I think that age group maybe is a little bit shyer. They don't want their name on there. So we'll get a lot of, instead of using that app, I get a lot of, because I'm the customer service email. So I'll get a lot of emails to me saying, please don't use my name, but this is what I thought of this, But I'd say the most reviews that we're getting actually are, thank you for being a Canada women-owned company. I feel seen. I feel like I can trust you. Thank you for, one of them was like, thank you for changing my life. A lot of, we're getting a lot of women in this age group who have just gone through a divorce, or they've become a widow, or they've had a big change. So a lot of them are just starting out in this kind of exploring their own body kind of scenario. So that's, I think, our biggest reviews and biggest feedback is from that group of women saying, this is where I am and I've never thought about it like this before. And thank you for making me think about my own personal pleasure a lot more. Yeah.
I love it. I love the women-led part. I love the Canadian part. I love the education part. And we do like to do business with those folks that we know, like, and trust. And I think that that is the element that you bring to this space, is that permission slip, as we alluded to earlier. But and also just a reminder that it's never too early and it's never too late, which I love when that light bulb goes off. It's like, oh, you mean I can still? Yeah, absolutely you can. It's never too late to put your own name at the top of the to-do list.
There's not a sexpiry date.
Sexpiry. I love it.
One of our clients, 82 years old. And
nice.
Sweet letter. And I mean, she took the time to write an old-fashioned 3-paragraph letter. And it's inspiring to know that here we are at 50, and I'm just so excited that
30 more years to
go. I've had 4 years of this, but here she is at 82, and she's saying what a difference we've made because of the customer service aspect. It makes it really brightens our heart to know that we resonate with a lot of women in this past year, to hear these stories, to know that through our vulnerability and through our findings, we are helping others to find their joy. And it's inspiring.
Yeah. And I mean, thank you to her. Thank you to her for normalizing this conversation too about joy. So we have to talk about products. Joy is a great segue. Tell me about what you want everyone to know about lubricants, moisturizers, and the difference.
What you put in your vagina or on your vulva should be as clean as what you put in your mouth. And like we said, we did a lot of curating when we were doing our site. So we were very careful about what we were putting on there. And as we were doing so, we did notice that the lube selection is small.
Right.
That has good stuff in it. I mean, there are some good ones out there, but there's not enough.
We wanted to create something. We made our own. There we go.
There we go.
We wanted to create something that we'd feel comfortable using, something that was elevated. Let's face it, there is a whole spectrum of lubes out there. If I do say so myself, I think it's a pretty sexy bottle that belongs on every bedside table.
Absolutely.
Myron glass from the Netherlands, so it keeps all of the harmful rays out, lets a good rays in. But my punchline at the trade show is, this is the best damn water-based lube you're ever going to find. And here's why. It's got a long-lasting silky glide. It won't stain your sheets. It's a whole host of botanicals, traditionally, let's say burdock root has been traditionally used as an aphrodisiac. Red clover has been traditionally used for menopause and hot flashes. Yes, it's such a minute amount, but some of the inspiration into what's gone in here for the midlife woman is based on some of these aspects.
Right.
Yes?
Yeah, and I mean, it has none of the bad things that you can see behind us. No propylene, no parabens, no fragrance, no taste, no dirties.
No
and it's vegan and it's food grade, so you can eat it. And it does, like, a lot of people think it's silicone because it does. A lot of water-based don't seem to last very long. This one has a nice long-lasting gliding, seems to go and go.
I love it.
Thank you. Wait, I heard you need some more.
I do need some more. I love it. And we were talking about changing conversations earlier, and I don't want to miss the opportunity to talk about this one. You were sharing with me that at some of the trade shows, women will walk up to you and say, "Oh, I don't need lube, right? I'm good." And so I'm not there yet. And so we've got to let's draw a line in this webcast that we're doing today and make sure that we set the record straight.
Here's our best stat that we have out there. You are 85% more likely to have an orgasm if you use lube. Done. Like, why? Excuse me, but go for it.
But there's a badge of honor.
Yeah.
Not needing lube so much. Time and time again, women come up to our booth, or they'll walk by our booth. If they do engage in conversation, they'll be like, "Oh no, not there yet. I'm dry. I'm not dry. I'm very wet." Or they'll say,
we get everything. So we've heard it all.
Or I don't have a partner.
Right.
What the hell does that have to do with anything? You need lube. What's better than lube, Shirley? Here's a question for you. What's better than lube?
Well, nothing is better than lube. Or more lube. Okay, sorry, I missed the cue. Because I was thinking about this. Like, Cass, I love your stat about orgasms, and that could be a motivator. Hopefully it is a motivator for everyone listening. But, I just got thinking about this, and I was like, nobody in my whole entire life has ever said to me, "Oh, I fry all my food without greasing the pan first." Right? Like, I don't need to use that. It's like, wait a second. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. It's a barrier to friction. Who wants friction?
It is. And let's face it, since
we're not shaming. We're just trying to change the conversation and
I think that's
move
part
it
of
forward.
I think a lot of women do feel a little bit, there's a bit of female toxicity in that. I think when women are saying, "I don't need it," so you're making the person beside you who might need it feel bad. You know what I mean? So it's just trying to just normalize using lube. You should have it. It feels good.
Need it or not, it should be a want. Yeah, really. It elevates sensation. I mean, just rub it on your skin or on your erogenous
massage
zones.
with it. Yeah.
On your vagina or on your vulva. It can be all over during the experience with toys. Let's face it. You want to play with a toy?
Absolutely. Yes. Okay. So let's transition to toy talk.
Okay.
Did you bring your favorites?
We didn't bring our favorites.
But I know that you may have one of these in your hand.
I do. I have the palm in the palm of my hand.
You're taking matters into your own hand.
Taking matters into my own hand. So for those of you that are just meeting myself and Leah and Cass for the first time, you can go to each of our Instagrams. You can watch my first review of a couple of toys that they sent me. And then today you're going to ask me some questions about the Dame.
We are.
Oh, sorry, the Dame, the Palm from the Dame.
Yeah,
the Dame Palm.
The Dame is one of the brands that we really do love. They are very much in alignment with what we believe. They believe that wellness and pleasure go together. And it's created by two women. And one was she's an engineer. Yeah, an engineer and a sex therapist came together and created all the toys. So yeah.
I love stories of how things get created. That is amazing. I'm going to turn it on.
And it's sexy and discreet. And that is, the visible aspects. But maybe you can tell us a little bit more about your research and development aspects.
It is sex. Okay. So first of all, I just need to start and explain to everyone that every time you ask me to do a review or if I'm interested, I feel like you're asking me to pick my favorite child, which is which is impossible, right? So I can just definitely share with you, it is discreet, it is beautiful, it's exciting. I love, now that you have told me that it was created by an engineer, it makes so much sense because it is perfectly designed, not just for fitting in the palm of your hand, but also like this design, we can zoom in on it, is orgasmic. There's no other word. It's orgasmic.
That's a good
Perfectly engineered for the palm. And
why try to create another word or another way of saying it when the truth is it's orgasmic?
And how do you think of the texture? What do you think of the texture?
Well, I mean, all of the products that the toys that I've been using lately, they all sort of have that beautiful, high quality silicone, but also the design feels like it was made especially for me. Like if you are experimenting, maybe for the first time or the first time in a long time, it's not awkward. It's like, oh, this is way easier than I thought. And I can do this and I want to keep doing this. For my health, right?
Exactly. I think this one would be like, if you had never bought a vibrator before, I would throw this one at you.
Yes. And then to Leah's point, what is more perfect for traveling than something like this that fits in a beautiful velvet bag? Like, yeah. Exactly. And even if my suitcase does vibrate on the way to the airport, I don't care.
It's your toothbrush.
Exactly. How did you find the intensity?
I have, definitely with all of the toys that I've been using recently, I would say that across the board, the variety was something that I wasn't even expecting. I was like, it's going to do this. And then I was always surprised at every time there's like almost a new experience, like another new toy, when it was the same one with just different options.
Which is great because sometimes you're in different moods, right? Sometimes you want it more. Sometimes you just want to relax.
Yeah. And sometimes you have 5 minutes and sometimes you have 50. So,
Exactly.
Well, thank you for doing that review, Shirley.
I'm happy to.
How many stars out of 5 would you give the Dame Palm?
I'm going to give it 5 stars out of 5.
Wow.
5 big yellow stars. Yeah, no, I wouldn't hesitate at all to tell any of my friends or people I don't know that are listening to this podcast to go and give it a try because I don't think that you will be disappointed.
5 orgasmic stars.
I think it'll make you feel amazing. Oh my gosh, I could talk to you all day. I just want to wrap up by taking this opportunity to thank you for supporting the work that we do at Menopause Chicks. It means so much to have quality education, to see a new community evolving around sexual health and sexual health in women's midlife journey. So kudos, congratulations, keep up the great work. And I hope that maybe you'll come back and do this again with me sometime.
We would love to. And Shirley, thank you so much for being part of our community. It really means a lot to us. I know that you have this platform and you have a voice that reaches far and wide around this globe. And so it is a tremendous honor to be included here and that you have helped elevate our exposure to the midlife avatar out there. And so thank you very much for being part of our community. We should highlight that we do have a community section on our website. And for those of you who have not followed us, please, we welcome you to come and explore our community. And you can click all the links to all of Shirley's stuff from our page.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, this community, everyone in this industry, I think has just been so welcoming. We were just astonished when we started a year ago about how welcoming and how giving everyone in the community is. Like people like you who were just like, okay, I'll do a podcast with you. Like, thanks, Shirley.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And we're going to do really good things together. So keep up the great work. Thanks for doing this today.
Thank you.
Thanks, Shirley.
Take care.
Take care.
Take care. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I know you have many options for where you spend your time, so I am grateful you chose this show. And if you enjoyed this particular episode, please subscribe, like, do all the things. Follow me on social media at Menopause Chicks. Follow Intimate Wellbeing at Intimate Wellbeing. And once again, I would like to thank all the people who support this show and share my mission for women's health. Vichy Laboratoire, TheraPro, Feel Amazing Vulva and Vaginal Moisturizer, and my guest today, Intimate Wellbeing. You can learn more in the show notes. Plus, a big shout out to the team here at Oh Boy Productions. And remember, someone you know needs this information. Maybe it's you, maybe it's someone you love. So thank you for sharing, and see you next week on This Show Is Not About Menopause. Wellbeing, founded by Cass and Leah, is elevating the conversation around women's sexual health. And I am so grateful they have invited me along for the ride. Sexual health is health, and Cass and Leah have taught me that embracing my joy is a key part of a healthy midlife. Speaking of joy, they are the founders of my new favorite personal lubricant, Okanagan Joy. Together, we've reviewed the best sex toys for midlife, hosted information sessions for their community and mine, and fostered a new generation of confident women living their best midlife and beyond. Learn more at intimatewellbeing.com and be sure to click on Menopause Chicks Picks.